Dear friends, good evening. Today I would like to talk about one important and the most malefic yoga. So there are many yogas. So some yogas are Raja Yoga, some yogas are bad yogas. So the yoga which I am going to talk about is a Shrapita Yoga. So this yoga is formed when Rahu and Shani, both the planets, they conjoin in a house, in any house. Of course, we need to see the difference of degrees between Rahu and Shani, how effective this yoga is working on an individual. No matter where this yoga is formed in a chart, in which house Shani and Rahu both are positioned together, they are bound to give negative results. So usually malefic planets like Saturn, Rahu, they are supposed to do well in malefic houses. If this yoga forms in 6th, 8th, 11th and 12th houses and 3rd house also, then it's not that malefic in nature. It can bring even very good results. It can make a person successful. But if this yoga forms in ascendant or 2nd house or 5th house, 4th house, 7th house, 9th house, is going to impact an individual adversely. I have seen this pattern of people who were born in 1979, 1980 year. So in this time frame, most of them had this Shrapita Yoga in their chart. So why this yoga is formed in an individual chart? Suppose this yoga is formed in an important house, then and it is making an individual struggle a lot. It means this individual committed bad karmas in his past life. Because of that, he is having this yoga, especially like in Kendras and Konas. If this yoga is formed in 1410 or 159, then definitely the individual has to rethink and remediate to nullify the effect of Shani Rahu Shrapita Yoga. So if this yoga forms on ascendant, then the individual, he struggles a lot. He faces a lot of hardships in life and he can't raise in his life. So he struggles a lot to make a little progress in his life. I have seen people who who never settled nor get married, and people who have been suffering with dreadful diseases or psychological problems having this yoga. If this yoga forms in 2nd house, then this yoga can bring ill reputation and turbulence in one's family. And if this forms in 4th house, then an individual feels lack of happiness at home, and most of the times the individual may not have a home, and his mother should be struggling from severe illness. It's not good for mother's health if this yoga forms in 4th house. And if this yoga forms in 5th house, problem with children, not having children, or if they have children, like they may have problem with children's health or in growing up the children. And also 5th house is also house of intellect, house of mind. This yoga in 5th house can make a person a psychic kind of person. And if this yoga forms in 7th house, then an individual faces a lot of issues in getting married, and after marriage also, like he'll have a lot of disputes And most of the people having this yoga in 7th house, uh, they went for divorce. And if this yoga forms in 8th house, because 8th house represents marital life, the life after marriage, and joint assets, inheritance, and accidents. So this yoga in 8th house can adversely affect the significations of 8th house. If this yoga forms in 9th house, then this person have may not have good relationship with his father, or there might be some sin committed by the individual's forefathers in his lineage, because of which he's suffering a lot, he's struggling a lot. And Saturn and Rahu in 9th house, they block the fortune and the development. This individual struggles a lot to pursue higher learning. And if this yoga forms in 10th house, lot of turbulence in career, and some people, they may not even get a job. And also it brings ill repute, defame an individual. So here, so what is the remedy? So is it something like people who have this yoga, they're all cursed? There are some exceptions here. There are some exceptions that can cause cancellation or nullifying the effect intensity of this Shrapita Yoga. If Shani and Rahu, they receive benefic aspect of Jupiter, then the malefic nature of this yoga is drastically reduced or nullified. Also, the Lord of house in which Saturn and Rahu are positioned, if the Lord of house is in a benefic house, is occupying a benefic house and receiving aspect from Jupiter, and chances are high that the individual is shielded from the adverse effect of this Shrapita Yoga. So if this yoga forms in Navamsha, it is more malefic and evil in nature than in Rashi. So anybody having this yoga should consult an astrologer and do remedial procedure properly to get rid of the malefic effect of Shrapita Yoga. So what time the effects of this yoga is seen? Suppose an individual is having Saturn Rahu combination in his chart in one of the houses. So we need to see if the Dasha Lord, the Lord of house in which Saturn and Rahu are placed, if that Dasha is running, then the individual can definitely see the adverse results. So especially malefic planets like Rahu, Saturn, Mars, Ketu, during Mahadasha or Antardashas of these planets, the most of the results of the Shrapita Yoga can be seen. So guys, this is my analysis about Shrapita Yoga. If you like my video, please click on like button, and also please subscribe to my video. Thank you very much.